Most hiring processes focus on skills and experience. But what if that's the wrong place to start? People can talk a big game, but show up completely different once they're on the team. In this episode, I'll walk you through exactly how I use core values to find and filter rockstar team members so you can stop hiring on potential and start hiring with purpose. Welcome to the Cody Hoffine Show, the place for entrepreneurs who want more clarity, more alignment, and more meaning in their business and in their lives. I'm Cody Hoffine, and each week I bring you lessons from my own journey and conversations with people who face the same struggles, challenges you're dealing with right now. And together, guys, we're gonna explore the habits, the mindset, and the decisions that create real success. Now, before we get to this hiring process, guys, and what we're talking about and how we use core values, that would suggest that first and foremost, you need to have core values. So if you don't have core values, let me just simplify it real quick before we get into this. You do need to define your core values because that's a big purpose of how we hire the right people. So I want you to ask simple question to yourself, and I just want you to ask this: what characteristics allow me to win at the highest level? That's the question I want you to ask yourself. Furthermore, to help you get clarity, like when you're winning at your highest level and you feel like, man, success is kind of just flowing into my life right now. Why do you think that's happening? Have you ever stopped to think, what are the core values that you're living by that allows you to succeed at your highest level? That's what I want you to be thinking about as you come up with your core values. Not when you're in your worst self or when you're not winning, but when you're winning. When you're winning in your relationships, when you're winning in your business with the income and the growth of a business, what characteristics can you tie that back to? What is your best version of yourself look like? What characteristics are you living by? And that'll help you come up with some core values. Now, guys, core values, they're not just catchy words. They're the foundation of how you show up when you're at your best. So let me share with you my core values. My core values are humble. And what that simply just means is being coachable, being teachable, being a lifelong student. Like, this is not something that you just learn and you're over with. Humble means forever. The rest of your life, you're going to be coachable and teachable. The second one is honest. And that's not with just others, that's with yourself. That's holding yourself accountable, right? The third one is heart for others. And that's not just the way you show up with your customers, but it's also the way you show up for your team. And then the fourth one is hunger. And guys, that's that fire in the belly that drives you to go, to serve, and to excel at like a high level. So now that you know core values, and at least you know my core values, how do we use those core values in the hiring process? What I want you to be crystal clear at, the reason why I feel like I can share this episode with so much excitement is because I failed so many times at hiring where I've hired someone and then within 2 or 3 weeks, you're like scratching your head, like, what just happened? Like, I have no clue. This person came to the interview and it was this, and they came up the next day to start their work. And I was like, whoa, completely different person than the person that came up to that interview yesterday. So I want you to know that most interviews fail. And it's not because they want to blatantly lie to you, but people sell a version of themselves they can't sustain. And usually it's not their fault. It's our fault. We're asking the wrong questions, where we're simply asking them, hey, tell me why you are so awesome. And then they sit there for the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, pounding their chest, telling you why they're awesome. Problem with that is, because of your wrong question, everyone wants to bring their best foot forward. Everyone wants to shine in their moment of their interview. Everyone wants to prove to the world, I can do this. And in doing so, when you ask those wrong questions, you're gonna get the wrong answer. And you're also gonna show them how to answer in a way that makes this like blown up version of themselves that they can't even sustain. They can't even be that person, right? We all know and maybe have gone through this hiring process and you know what I'm talking about, right? It's painful. So instead, we flip the script by using values-based questions. So let me walk you through what I mean so that you know how to hire going forward. And guys, by doing this, this is my promise to you. You're going to save thousands of dollars. Think of the people that you bring on. Everyone's like, oh, it didn't cost me much money. It's 1 month of salary. It wasn't that. It's the time and energy to train the individual. It's so much more than we think. Each wrong hire can cost a business $10, $20, up to $50,000 in expenses by having the wrong hire. So how do you have the correct hire? And why do we flip the script and why we do this value-based? So as you bring in someone to be interviewed, instead of asking why they're cool, why they're great, Here's how we flip this script. We make sure we're bringing in our core values. The question that we ask number one is this. Hey, and let's use the word Jim. Jim's our name today. So we're gonna hire Jim today, or potentially hire Jim today. And here's what I'm gonna do with Jim. Jim, tell me 3 people that inspire you, that motivate you, that help you wanna become the best version of yourself. Now, Jim, here's the thing. I just want the 3 names, because here's the thing, guys. They will spit stories for hours if you let them. So it's just quick. I just want the names. I don't want the stories behind it. I don't want anything behind it. Just 3 names. Now, the secret to this is you have to know them and they have to know you. So 3 people that inspire you, motivate you, and help you to be a better version of yourself. What are those 3 names? You have to know them and they have to know you. So they're going to tell you their 3 names. They may tell you their dad. They may tell you one of their best friends, and they may tell you maybe their uncle. Okay, making this up. So you're gonna ask Jim furthermore. Question number 2, what 3 characteristics do you like about these individuals that really inspire you, motivate you, and help you to want to be the best version of yourself? What are those 3 characteristics? Again, I'm looking for no big story, just, quick, short answers. Basically, the characteristic is all I'm looking for in this right now. And then Jim's going to say, well, you know what? My dad's one of them. So my dad, the 3 characteristics is he's kind. He has drive to go out and provide for for his family. And so I loved and I looked up to that. He's the most honest individual you'll ever meet. Awesome. Tell me about this person or their friend. Well, this friend is just, you know what? He's so consistent. He has this drive to just go out each and every day and just get things done. No matter how hard it is, he wakes up, he shows up, and he gets things done. Okay, that's awesome. Names 2 more. Maybe says, and the guy is super honest and he's just super fun to be around. He makes the room just better. Awesome. Then he goes to the 3rd person. It's his uncle, right? And the uncle, it's, you know what? This guy is committed to always getting better, which I love. The other thing I love is, he would never, ever, ever tell a lie. Amazing. And then he says another one and he says what they are. So now that you know these 3 characteristics from these 3 people that either inspire him, motivate him, or help him to be a better version of himself. The beautiful thing by why I ask this, why do I do this? Because it takes the focus off of them and expanding this version that doesn't exist, making up this person who they really aren't because they want to put their best foot forward. Again, I don't think people want to come to an interview and just lie their socks off. I don't believe people want to do that. I just don't. I have such a high hope for people, and I know people at their best, they don't want to lie. But our bad questions allow them to expand on this version that they aren't yet, or they're expanding on this version that doesn't exist. But by asking the 3 people that they admire, that inspire, that motivate, and help them be their best version, and then asking them their characteristics, here's the beautiful part, guys. Like attracts like, meaning this. They either themselves already have those characteristics. Catch me on this one. They already have these same characteristics of these 3 people that they admire, that they love dearly, or because these people are in their lives and they respect them so much, they're on this journey to acquire those same characteristics because they want to be just like those individuals. Are you catching what I'm drifting with this? The whole point behind this is like attracts like. So whether they already have the characteristics or they desire to have those characteristics because they love those individuals so much that they're following them, they look up to them and they want to be them, I'm fine with that. It's the same to me. Whether they have them or they want them, man, I am totally fine. So now I look at the 3 characteristics. What were those characteristics? So dad was honest. He was a hard worker. Well, guys, my characteristics, my core values is humble, honest, heart for others, and hunger. So I look at those 3 core values and says, okay, he's out there working, providing. There's some hunger. There's some drive behind that. That's awesome. He's honest. Well, that happens to be one of the words I have, right? Then let's go to the other one. The best friend and the uncle. Maybe the best friend, right? He's like, man, he just has drive. He just gets things done. Okay, there's hunger. And you start to just tie these up and say, okay, are these core values in line? Are they in sync with my core values? And it's that simple. Yes, you're gonna want to ask them over and above this some questions about, hey, what's one big win that's happened over the last 90 days? There's nothing worse than having them go longer than 90 days because if their win that they share with you is 2 years ago, what's happened in the last 24 months? Like nothing? No big wins has happened in the last 2 years? That's a sign of no growth. Going back to those core values, once they're in alignment, this is like where your success rate on your hires goes through the roof. It goes through the roof because you're now in alignment with core values. And core values leads and guides and builds culture. And culture, guys, is everything. Now, as it comes to the weight of actual what this means to me, culture and values drives 60% of the decision whether someone will be hired on our team. 60%, 6-0, meaning 40% is tied to their skills. Why? Because skills, those things, those can be taught and improved upon. Why? Because one of our core values is humble, being a lifelong learner, being coachable, being teachable. So I know I can teach skills. I know whatever skills they have, I'm like, man, this is important. They need to bring those skills. They can't come with no skills. They're going to come with skills and I'm going to improve upon them. Why? Because each and every day I'm improving upon my skills as well. But some of the things you can't really train on or improve for them is core values. If someone's dishonest, I can't teach them to be honest. That's on them. They got to have the desire to be honest. And so if someone comes to me dishonest, I don't want them on my team. If someone comes to me as a know-it-all, when I've heard it best from a dear mentor of mine, he says, Cody, there's nothing worse than a know-it-all that doesn't know it all. I don't want them on my team. I can't teach you to be humble. That's on you. When it comes to hunger, drive, going out there and getting things done, and you sleep in every day, you show up late to work, I can't teach you. I can threaten you what's going to happen if you keep showing up this way, but I can't teach you to have hunger. That's an internal drive that you've got to have, that you've got to do. So these core values, guys, they're going to drive everything in this interview. It's 60% of the weight of that interview. Now, after these people have been hired based off their values, what I don't want is don't let your values just hang on the wall. You know, when you walk into like a dentist, you're going to get your annual or maybe your biannual teeth cleaning. You go in there and they have these cute values on a frame on the wall. Don't let your values just live on the wall. I mean, that's great. I love that this dentist, by the way, actually has values on the wall. But more importantly, I hope you're using your values each and every day. You're correcting, you're coaching, and you're helping these people, and you're tying them always back to the values so that it doesn't just sit on the wall. You're actually using them each and every day. Let them live in the culture each and every day. Praise and correct is always tied back to these core values. For deeper guidance on this, guys, check out my episode, How to Lead and Guide Your Team Using Core Values. I'll leave links in the show note that'll kick you over to that because it'll go deeper into, now that you've established this core value, now that you've hired the right person, how do you continue to lead and guide these individuals using your core values? You guys, to close this episode, here's what I want you to know. Don't hire another person without knowing your core values first. You're literally just flipping a coin and hoping it works if you don't hire using those core values. You need them. This is how you know people who they truly are and how they're going to show up at work. And if you want help defining those values, simply DM me the word values on Instagram and I'll send you over a free worksheet that'll walk you through this step by step. And then don't forget to check out the show notes for the bonus episode on leading with those core values, because this is how you really ingrain and really make like bulletproof your culture each and every day in your business field. You guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for showing up and being on this podcast and being a listener and a supporter of it. Would you do me a massive favor and go over and subscribe, like, as well as leave a 5-star review? You guys, this helps me more than you can know. My ultimate goal is to have impact on people's lives, and you can play a huge role in that by simply sharing this episode. So if this is something you're like, wow, thank you, that was a gold nugget, it's gonna help me in my business, can you share this with someone that you know needs this as well right now? And in doing so, we can make an impact on their lives together. Thank you again for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode.